So I've been watching a lot of YouTube over the years. I watch people who eat wild edibles and things like that. And, the Wooded Beardsman, he does a survival challenge where he tries to go out and live off the land. And he's really good. He's got a good scientific mind about it. And one thing I noticed, and he mentioned, was that it's really hard to live off the land. You can't just go out and pick stuff and expect to survive, readily. And, the thought occurred to me, just because you can eat it, or just because a plant is edible, why should you, would you, why would you? Does it even taste good? A lot of green things, in my opinion, taste green when you eat them. Some of them are bitter. They've got chemicals in them that are bitter, and some bitter chemicals are good for you. And flowers, often they taste sweet, and so there are many varieties of flowers that you can eat they got a little sweet taste to them. And of course there's medicinal uses and things like that, and fiber. But like with any kind of food or with anything, if you're not raised with it or not taught to like it, then you won't right off the bat. So eating wild edibles is something that you either have to do, or you learn to do, teach yourself to do. You grow up with it, and then it's okay. And of course, with enough salad dressing, just about everything's good, right? So we're going to look at a few things, and I'm going to show you with my rabbits the difference between being raised with something that you like to eat or have learned to eat from a young age and not. Because I've got some rabbits that will eat wild edibles, and some that won't at all, and some that aren't real happy about it but sometimes do. This is Greta. When she was young, she was fed greens and learned to like them, and she gets a little excited about them. The good stuff. This rabbit doesn't have a name. She's never eaten many greens. She wasn't taught when she was young to eat them. And she doesn't care very much. Not a big deal. Then again, this is Gus. This is Greta's brother. Same raising. Go for it, man. This is Burdock. As the leaves, flowering stem comes up. Looks a lot like this. I don't know if you've ever gotten those burrs stuck on your clothes. I had a dog that hated them. It was kind of fun to watch him kill them like they were a big enemy. So the burdock is edible, all of it, actually all of it, especially the roots in the early fall when they have loaded up on starches. It's not easy to eat, but it's edible. So this is a dandelion. You can see the leaf. I get it focused. And I think they say it's called dandelion because of the shape of the typical shape of the leaf. This one's a little morphed from being cut too many times, but looks like a lion's tooth in the tip. It's got the serrated sides, and that's edible. This one here is cat's ear. It's cat's ear. It's a thicker leaf, and it's got little hairs on it. It's also edible. And the wild rabbits in my yard, they tend to prefer this one. This has a dandelion looking flower on a solid tall stalk and tends to be have more than one flower on the end. Got no idea what it tastes like. Dandelions, like a lot of them, are diuretics. So if you're gonna eat stuff like this, make sure it's okay with your doctor, because if you're taking water pills or something, you might not want a double dose. So we got dandelion flower, and we're gonna eat it just so you can see that it may not kill me, but I guess if you're watching this, probably didn't. I ate one the other day and I ate the whole thing, green back and everything. And like I said, the green tastes kind of green, but it did have sort of a broccoli finish, which was kind of nice. My advice is not to chew too much, but let's taste the yellow and see. Kind of sweet, just mildly bitter. Kind of feeling a hot, not hot, but a little bit of warm, spicy. And some people eat these things deep fried. Can't go wrong with that. I think probably not as good as a deep fried Twinkie, but might be okay. Let's go look at the blackberries. So the cow's a little camera shy. I tried to walk up there before. She wouldn't keep eating, but she likes blackberries. Early spring, nice green for them. What do you think of the blackberries? Fine, be that way. There's blackberry. You get these little shoots coming up, and the very beginning of them, the inside mostly, unless they're really young like this, is really tender. I don't know how well this camera's going to do, but that's kind of what they look like. Maybe I'll take a picture. But you just pick that, and there again, same thing with the rabbits, the ones that learn to eat greens, love them. I don't notice the wild rabbits eating them much. Blackberry also is diuretic, so you got to be careful with that. Most people say that it's edible, but used primarily for medicines, diarrhea, stuff like that, and the need for diuretics. So I'll take this tiny piece here, the inside piece, because the outside pieces are starting to form thorns and I don't want to fight through it. So, see how it tastes. That's pretty bad. Reminds me of a carrot top, only really tough. Definitely got to cook that one. Okay, moving on to the nettles. I've eaten these before. They're not half bad. I'm going to try to do this one-handed. Picking a leaf, of course the underside, you know, is pretty nasty, but the tops are okay. And we'll go with this one and see what it does to me. So here's that. And I always fold them in, I think everybody does, and bust them up a little bit. Now I gotta figure out how to turn you around. Probably too close. Okay, we're going to do that again because I dropped it and then I choked on a piece of blackberry or something. Piece of leaf. Fold it in on itself, although this really young one doesn't have, it's not bothering my fingers. This one I'll get in my mouth. Can you really smell it in your nose? Like I said before, I think I said it, reminds me of green beans. Maybe mildly minty in a weird sort of way. That's not bad. Aftertaste gets bitter if you chew it too long. Okay, so I might cook some of these up, and we'll see how they taste the way I like to eat them. Well, not that I don't eat nettles, but I eat beet greens, and beet greens are really yummy. I like them with vinegar and salt, pepper, and butter. Sometimes just vinegar and butter. So I'll pick some of these things and cook them and see if we can make them, you know, see if we can make them palatable. Hang tight. Okay, let's move on to one more that I don't know anything about really. It's called dead nettle. It's actually in the mint family. Grows in a lot of places. Never tasted it. I'm not gonna taste it. Yeah. But it is edible, and people say it's good for you, just like all these things. So is lettuce and spinach. So let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at it, and then you can look it up and learn about it if you want to eat it. Alright, this is dead nettle. It's in the mint family, and it's edible. And I just learned about it the other day. Thank you, Bet, for that. And so let's see if I can hold one up and give you a close look. It grows up like that. See the little pink flowers? It's kind of nice. And it's got square sides. Maybe I will taste it. Okay, a little bit of dead nettle. Not toxic, but a little bit scary. So I'm gonna eat the tip. We'll see how it goes. Tastes like dirt, although it reminds me a little bit of beet greens, and that's kind of what I like about it, is that earthy taste. It's got the fuzzy leaf, so it's got a similar texture to the blackberry, but the blackberry was actually tough. Yeah, reminds me a lot of a beet. Takes some getting used to, I guess. Bon appetit. Normally I would eat this in a bowl and pour this vinegar and butter on top. So here we have blackberry, which I don't think is fit for anything. This is the nettle, which tasted like green bean raw, and with a slight minty, almost kind of taste. This is the dead nettle, which is in the mint family, and I like that. It reminded me of beet greens. And this is the dandelion, which may be okay. My great grandmother used to eat these. And she boiled them twice, and I can't remember for sure. She either boiled them the first time and then drained it and cooked it again to get it hot, or she boiled it in soda to sweeten them up. I can't remember which. So anyway, I'm going to take a bite of these and dip them. I'll let you know what I think. I think I'll start with the unknown. So you don't get to see my face because it might be horrid. Dandelions aren't bad. A little too much vinegar. Now I'll go to the nettle. A little less vinegar this time so it doesn't choke me. Not much taste in the nettle. Saving the worst for last. Okay, we'll see. Whew! Really held on to the vinegar. Lost most of its taste. I'm going to take a little one of these because this is going to be horrible. Still something. Oops. Alright, I'm going to swallow it, but it's just as bad as it was when it was raw. Yuck. Mostly it's the texture, actually. There's no taste here. So I boiled each of these until they started to bleed and then went just a little bit longer. Maybe a little overdone, except for the blackberries. So I can recommend the dandelions, the nettles, and the dead nettle. Probably in that order. These were good raw, like reminded me of beet tops, but not much taste now. These are pretty good texture. These had a really good texture, a little soft, so I wouldn't cook them as long. And then these are just nasty. So that's it. That's my opinion. I don't recommend that you go out and eat these because I don't know what I'm doing. Kimber, Bill, if I croak, it's up to you to put this video out. So one reminder about these things is like the dandelions and the dead nettle, actually, and the blackberries are diuretics, and they have other uses, other chemicals, and so always check with your doctor before you eat this stuff. Alright, thanks for watching High Speed Outdoors in the kitchen. I appreciate it. It means a lot.